Mad Concrete Dreams, Episode 1-2 Recap. Is Gyeong rescued after being kidnapped by Soo-jong and Hwal-sung? Why is Kim Jun killed? On March 14 and 15, the first two episodes of Mad Concrete Dreams premiered on TVN. The thriller drama centers on Ki Soo-jong, played by Ha Jung-woo. Despite being a building owner, the situation proves far more difficult for him. Debt continues to pile up, and the pressure to repay loans grows heavier for Soo-jong. As a result, keeping both the property and family life stable becomes a daily struggle. Amid this financial strain, Soo-jong gets involved in a planned kidnapping meant to solve the growing money problems. Soon, however, circumstances begin to shift. Consequently, the fake crime starts turning into something far more dangerous. In the Mad Concrete Dreams, Episode 1, Detective Kim Jun is killed because he was investigating the suspicious loan group connected to Real Capital. His death is staged as a car accident to stop the investigation. Meanwhile, at the end of Episode 2, Gyeong manages to escape. However, during the ransom exchange, Hwal-sung accidentally falls from the bridge. Episode 1 of Mad Concrete Dreams opens with Ki Soo-jong, a struggling landlord who bought the modest 3-story Sayun building by risking everything he had. Despite owning property, his life is far from comfortable. Loan repayments weigh heavily on him, forcing the desperate building owner to distribute flyers and take up delivery work just to cover interest payments. At home, Soo-jong tries to remain a responsible family head. Even his wife Kim Seon's birthday present comes from a second-hand deal because finances remain tight. Trouble grows when Soo-jong receives a suspicious call from a financial firm named Real Capital. The company informs him that he will lose the building unless the outstanding loan is repaid soon. He tries explaining his financial struggles to the company representative, Yona, but the discussion leads nowhere. In frustration, Soo-jong loudly mentions the name of his brother-in-law, Detective Kim Jun from the Violent Crimes Unit. Soon after, he realizes something unsettling. Real Capital somehow already possesses a full list of its creditors. That discovery makes him suspect something is seriously wrong. Meanwhile, Soo-jong's personal life continues to deteriorate. Because he becomes obsessed with solving the building's debt issues, he misses a scheduled couples counseling session with his wife. To make matters worse, he even touches the savings set aside for their daughter's overseas education. These decisions deepen tension between the married pair. Still refusing to give up, Soo-jong searches for money wherever he can. In desperation, he eventually asks his brother-in-law, Kim Jun, for help. That same night, Kim Jun, who had been investigating Real Capital, dies in what authorities describe as a car accident. Mad Concrete Dreams continues with Soo-jong noticing a mortician standing nearby. The man appears to be the same person previously seen beside Yona. The connection makes Soo-jong realize Real Capital might be responsible for Kim Jun's death. After his funeral, Soo-jong learns that Kim Jun had recently applied for his severance pay and planned to lend that money to him. The news leaves Soo-jong overwhelmed with guilt. After returning to the Sayun building and preparing to contact the police, Soo-jong hears strange banging noises coming from an empty underground freezer. When he opens the door, he finds his friend Min Hwal-sung, who had previously been investigating the freezer area. Inside the same space lies Hwal-sung's wife Jeon Yi-kung, tied up after being kidnapped. The Mad Concrete Dreams episode ends with Soo-jong having unknowingly been pulled into a staged kidnapping plot. In Episode 2 of Mad Concrete Dreams, Soo-jong feels uneasy about the idea of kidnapping. Even so, the urgent need for cash begins to weaken that resistance. At the same time, the grief over Detective Kim Jun's death refuses to fade. Soo-jong tries to keep those emotions buried. Yet, the restraint eventually breaks during a lunch with his wife and daughter. With this, Soo-jong breaks down in tears in front of his family. The following day, a real estate agent named Hee-ju sends a message to him saying someone wants to check the basement of the Sayun building. At first, the alert goes unnoticed because Soo-jong is spending time with family. Later, as he checks the message, Soo-jong rushes toward the building despite several difficulties. Meanwhile, the sudden departure raises suspicion in his wife's mind. Fortunately, he reaches the place just in time and manages to stop the agent moments before the basement door opens. Elsewhere, Hwal-sung moves the kidnapping plan forward. During a phone call with Hwal-sung's mother-in-law, Soo-jong disguises his voice and briefly shows Gyeong to confirm that the abduction is real. Fear quickly spreads on the other end of the line. Soon after, he demands 3 billion won in exchange for Gyeong's release. Around the same time, another concern begins to emerge. A repayment notice from Real Capital and Global Partners states that 12% interest on 1 billion won equals 120 million won. As a result, the financial pressure surrounding the entire situation grows even heavier. Later, the plan takes an unexpected turn. When the time comes to collect the ransom, police officers appear at the mother-in-law's residence. She had secretly contacted investigators before handing over any money. The sudden presence of authorities throws everything into confusion. Hwal-sung quickly attempts to warn Soo-jong so the trap does not tighten further. Later, amid the confusion, Hwal-sung pretends to rescue Ye-young at the place in the presence of the police. However, the moment spirals out of control. During the struggle near a bridge, Hwal-sung slips and falls. The Mad Concrete Dreams episode 2 ends with Soo-jong managing to flee the scene and survive the ordeal. Mad Concrete Dreams made its debut on March 14 at 9:10 p.m. KST. Following the television broadcast, the series also became accessible for streaming on the platform Rakuten Viki. Quick links.